Well, hello YouTube, it's me, Fortmaster, and welcome to Is Balloon Boy the Key to the FNAF Timeline by Ryetoast. So, when I was watching the last game theory that came out, or at least at the time of recording, MatPat's final FNAF theory video, talking about, you know, the effect that FNAF has just had on, like, gaming, both the industry and culture, you know, that sort of stuff. It got me to thinking that, I mean, there are, of course, other, you know, FNAF theory YouTube channels that I, you know, like to watch. Of course, I've been doing Not Real Name at all as videos because, you know, I like the stuff that she puts out. But also, there are other channels that I've been watching, and I've been meaning to do reactions to, but just haven't. I don't know. And Ryetoast is one of them. And I mean, with a title like that, I have to see what he's going to be talking about in this. Because Balloon Boy certainly is a weird one, especially, like, given the whole menagerie of animatronics that are in FNAF. I mean, he just sort of appeared in FNAF 2. He then kind of appeared as, like, a burnt husk ghost thing in FNAF 3. And he seems to have, like, weird little connections with, like, a lot of things, really. Like, I know, oh god, I'm forgetting what it was called, but there was, like, that one, like, puppet thing that appeared in Sister Location that looked very much like Balloon Boy, and it's just, he's an odd little fellow, isn't he? Very annoying, too, in his first appearance. But yeah, I mean, something like Balloon Boy, I'm again, very much want to see where Rye is going to be going with this. So, yeah, I guess we should probably get this thing started then, shouldn't we? So, of course, as always, original video is linked in the description if you haven't seen it yet for some reason. Corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day, and with all that out of the way, let's get this thing actually started then, shall we?
What's up with that little freak Balloon Boy? Look, love him or hate him,
yeah, he is quite
really
freaky.
Fit into any cast he's been a part of. In FNAF 2, one of the biggest casts of any Five Nights at Freddy's game, he sticks out like a sore thumb. Sure, the puppet's weird too, but he is the only thing that looks human and doesn't directly attack the player. I never really gave it a second thought besides, that's weird. But earlier this week,
yeah, that is sort of weird. I mean, like, on top of everything that I said before, he was also, like, the first, not just humanoid, but human animatronic. I mean, he's not a bear, or a chicken, or a rabbit, or some variation of a fox, or wolf, or something like that. He's a boy. I mean, so there's gotta be some sort of weird connection going on there.
I put out a post asking for ideas for videos, and My Opinion 7472 said, quote, "Theory on Balloon Boy. Yes, he sucks, but what's his deal? Is he possessed? Is he some early experimentation of remaking Crying Child? For real, for real." And you know what?
Oh.
That's fair. So I did some digging on Balloon Boy, and I am not exactly...
Definitely, I mean, I guess you can see he is a boy. But that's very weird.
Exaggerating when I say what I found completely reframes his entire character for me and may even give us some pointers to what the next Steel Wolf FNAF game is going to be. I'm not kidding. So Slices, put on your aprons and let's bake ourselves a theory. Like I mentioned, in the FNAF 2 cast, Balloon Boy and by extension JJ stick out like sore thumbs.
Wait, is JJ an actual animatronic or is she just a hallucination? Because I know she appears underneath your desk, but other than that, I don't think she appears, like, at all. Well, I mean, wait a second, did JJ become an actual thing in Ultimate Custom Night? I'm forgetting now.
They don't stylistically match anything else in this game. Sure, they have the same cheek dots that Toy Freddy does, but that's it. These things are meant to look like humans with bright stripy pants. They even act differently, opting to steal your flashlight instead of directly kill you, or like JJ, just show up sometimes. So why does that matter? Well, at this point, it's practically confirmed that the marionette came from an earlier Freddy's restaurant and wasn't built for this location. We see it in the security puppet minigame where it chases after Charlotte Emily shortly after she's killed and then collapses on her because of the rain. That's when Charlie possesses the puppet. Due to the other angle of this event from Give Cake to the Children, in this very game, FNAF 2, it seems like this event happened at either the original Fredbear's or maybe the early Freddy's location, both of which were opened several years before the FNAF 2 location.
Oh, okay. I think I know what he's going on about here. So, from what we've seen, like in the previous games, and like especially in like in Help Wanted 2, there's something involving like a fall festival that happened like in the 70s. I forget whether it was 75 or 77, which is on the poster that you see, but either way, this fall festival has something to do with like Fazbear as like a brand, and I'm almost wondering. I remember, I can't remember his name now, but like the lead developer or the head of Steelwool said that they want to make a game that's based in like the Fredbear's location. Like they want to go back to like near the very beginning when it comes to this sort of stuff. And I could definitely see that like involving like, oh, Fredbear's Family Diner is holding the Fall Fest of 1977 or whatever, and then over the course of the game, you know, stuff goes bad, and that's when, you know, stuff gets closed down for the first time. Man, maybe we could actually see. Now that I'm thinking about it, like the maybe like the first time a spring lock like incident actually happens, like it doesn't have to be fatal, but like you could try to save whoever gets spring locked, but that could be something.
To mention, I mean, the Wizards are here. They are directly stated to be brought over from an earlier Freddy's.
Oh yeah, so I can see unwithered Wizards. Yeah, that could be an idea as well.
Who's to say they didn't do it for Balloon Boy? Well, if they did, where else have we seen Balloon Boy in this franchise? Right away, we need to knock out things that don't help us place him in the timeline, which would be Ultimate Custom Night and
yeah,
FNAF.
Definitely,
These
yeah.
are dubiously canon at best. And what I mean by that, they definitely represent canon events in the timeline, but the placements of characters within them doesn't really matter.
Yeah, also considering that Ultimate Custom Night could, not Ultimate Custom Night, also considering a FNAF world could either be seen as like some sort of other dimension or like spirit world it's like the time kind of starts to lose all of its meaning.
Ultimate Custom Night characters exist because the vengeful spirit willed them into existence. It's pretty much directly stated that, so none of these characters are real. Not to mention, they definitely happen at least after FNAF 2, so it doesn't help us. FNAF World is very similar. I personally believe that FNAF World was created by Charlotte Emily to help the rest of the souls move on after the FNAF 6 fire, sort of like a Happiest Day Part 2. That being said, this also takes place well after FNAF 2, and even if it didn't, because this is created by Charlotte Emily and not a real-life thing, Balloon Boy, JJ, and DD being here don't necessarily matter, let alone things like Ball Boy. FNAF 4 is similarly unhelpful. Granted, Nightmare Balloon Boy does exist in this game, and Scott did confirm that he is one of the canon characters of the Halloween update, but we also see several other toy designs in these minigames, notably Toy Chica. So the theory goes that the toy designs existed long before the FNAF 2 location. The toy animatronics were modeled as such because they were literally modeled after what the
literal toys,
like. That makes a lot of sense. Not to mention, if you believe the theory that the FNAF 4 gameplay is Michael's nightmares after going through the experiments that William Afton did, then it doesn't really matter where you place it on the timeline. These nightmares would have recurred for a long time, especially after Mike knew about FNAF 2. Hell, these nightmares could still be happening if Mike is somehow alive. I don't think he is, but you get what I mean. I mean, hell, if the FNAF movie is meant to be some sort of a parallel, Michael definitely has some weird beef with Balloon Boy. He scares him like 2 times in the movie, and he's not even an animatronic.
Yeah, that was such a weird part of the movie. You have the Balloon Boy, not even animatronic, a figurine for crying out loud, just popping up in all the most random places. And the third time, it's not even with Mike, it's like, it's with what is in the movie, just a random cabbie. Like, okay, actually thinking about it now, something definitely has to be going on with that, and I definitely expect the payoff to happen in the second movie when it does come out.
So there's something going on with Mike and Balloon Boy. Granted, again, the movie's a different continuity, but it's worth mentioning. As far as helpful placements go, I can think of 2. The first one being Into the Pit. In the trailer we get for this upcoming game, we see Balloon Boy on one of the posters in what is presumed to be the 1985 Freddy Fazbear's Pizza that Oswald travels to. That being said, there's also a poster of what looks like Toy Bonnie and what looks like Circus Baby. So on one hand, these could just all be cool Easter eggs. There's probably going to be a lot lot of just cool Easter eggs in this game, since
I could definitely see that happening.
It will be a 10th anniversary game. That being said, if these posters are true, then Circus Baby, Balloon Boy, and possibly Toy Bonnie existed as characters as early as 1985 in the timeline, 2 years before FNAF 2. One other important placement to realize is in FNAF 6. Granted, FNAF 6, Freddy Fazbear Pizzeria Simulator, takes place long after FNAF 2, so Balloon Boy being there doesn't really matter for this question, but he's specifically paired up with 2 characters, the Drink Clowns, Lemonade Clown, and Fruit Punch Clown, everybody's favorite.
Fruit Punch for everyone.
In the minigame where
Oh, come on, you didn't use Lemonade's clown voices? I like his a lot better.
Lemonade for everyone.
you have to scare children with these drink clowns, the children are Balloon Boys without their silent balloon and without the hat. But that's definitely Balloon Boy. This feels like
that was very weird.
Especially because Helpy would have worked just fine here. Just put a bunch of Helpies there. But specifically, Balloon Boy was chosen. And looking at Balloon Boy compared to the drink clowns, it makes sense. Visually, their designs share a striking resemblance. They're both rotund, they have that stripe design, and they even kind of have matching buttons.
Yeah, and also all human, you know, very, very odd coincidence. What is going on with these things?
Not to mention, they're all circus themed. But if they're circus themed, does that mean that these animatronics are related to the sister location animatronics? Well, let's compare them by design. Sure, the drink clowns do sort of resemble Circus Baby with the painted white face and red dots and general clown aesthetic, but
yeah, but
granted,
that's just
Balloon
clowns.
Boy does not really resemble Circus Baby or Ballora in any way. At least not in a notable way. Like they both have red cheek dots, but a lot of animatronics do. But when I was going through sister location to try to find connections, I did notice something else that was way more similar. The random extra robots in the sister location bunker. Like sure, the main control room has these weird faces and the weird fortune teller thing that like kind of look like Balloon Boy, but it's speculative.
Yeah.
But in circus control,
this is what I was talking about, this weird puppet
Gallery
thing.
You get Little Joe. This guy
that was his name, right?
That is almost 1-for-1 with Balloon Boy. Like the colors are different and the hat is different. But besides that, you could say this is just like Balloon Boy's brother, and that's not a problem. Like Balloon Boy, JJ, DD, Little Joe. He fits right in. This design is damning. And with
he's the weird brother. He's either adopted or like something went wrong when he was born.
With all these extra characters, Balloon Boy, JJ, DD, and any other variant of that character would fit in with this crowd perfectly. They probably would have been wandering around Circus Baby's Pizza World if it ever opened. But okay, sure, great and all, why does that matter? I've been thinking a lot about what the next Steel Wolf FNAF game will be. Fall Fest feels like a shoo-in. After all, Help Wanted DLC is entirely Fall Fest themed. And then you go to Help Wanted 2, which doesn't have a DLC yet, but not only do we get a poster about Fall Fest in the game.
Never mind, it was even earlier than I said. It was Fall Fest 70, not 75 or 77. So this is going back in the timeline.
We play multiple mini-games in what feels like a Fall Fest setting. And on top of that, the claw machine that we get every single prize out of for the entire runtime has a background of Fall Fest. Fall Fest is shoved down your throat throughout the entirety of Help Wanted 2. At this point, it is very
everywhere.
clear that this event is incredibly important and will probably come up in a future game. But all of this Fall Fest representation has distracted a lot of us, at least myself, to the other representation we've been seeing in recent FNAF games. And that's for sister location. In every aspect of the Five Nights at Freddy's brand, sister location has been cropping up, especially if Balloon Boy was meant to be at Circus Baby's Pizza World. I mean, like I mentioned, the movie had 3 jump scares dedicated to a Balloon Boy figure. Like, again, Balloon Boy wasn't in there, but if he's included in this circus animatronic group, why was he there? This isn't even a FNAF 2 movie, it's FNAF 1. Why was he all over the place? Not to mention the Ella Springlock doll, which a lot of people are theorizing to be a older, more realistic version of Circus Baby in the movie's continuity.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. Just going back to that thing. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, like, trying to figure out what that is, because, like, she has the hat with and the sleeves that are trimmed with these flowers. So I mean, that could very much be like some sort of entertainer or something.
Then you look at the merch. Yes, I'm bringing up the Balloon Circus toy line.
Oh God, yeah, those.
Balloon Circus was everywhere in merch for like 3 to 4 months. It had us all convinced that Ruin was going to be this like Balloon World circus themed thing, and it wasn't. But that doesn't mean that that idea is gone or never going to happen. happen. It could have just been early. On top of
Yeah,
this,
very
the games
early,
have
I
been
would
flooded
think.
with it. Security Breach had that Balloon World arcade secret. That secret loft in the daycare was one of the hardest secrets to get in the entire game and required you to go across the entire map to do it. And your reward, for the most part, was this Balloon World arcade machine, dedicated to Balloon Boy and a circus that those characters would have fit right in. It felt like a loose end in the game because you could glitch it but nothing happened. Oh, okay, bye. But maybe it was supposed to feel that way. And then we have Help Wanted 2, which not only had 2 of the 3...
Oh, wait a second. I'm almost... You know what would be a really cool thing? So, whatever, like, the next game is going to be, if they had, like, another sort of game in that, like, an arcade game, I should say, in the similar vein to, like, Balloon World, you know what would be really cool? If, like, say for example, you had a save of Security Breach where you did and used the, like, the Balloon World game, like, it would change how the other mini game works. Like, it reads the other save file to see if you did it, and then it changes how the arcade game plays. Like, oh god, if something like that happened, it could open so many doors for, like, potential hidden lore in the games. Oh, that'd be so cool.
You guys can't see this because I'm cutting these sections out. My cats are on a rampage. Literally this entire recording session, Casey is running back and forth. April has been jumping on the green screen. I'm losing my mind. So if I seem angry or frantic, that's why. It's also like 1 a.m., but that's neither here.
Sir, you know how you fix this? Lock them outside the room until you're done. I mean, granted, I'm saying this as somebody who doesn't have cats because I can't. I'm actually allergic. But still, you'd think that, you know, if pets are bothering you when you're working, keeping them away, especially if, you know, I know they are, like, part of the family, and there would be, like, hopefully there are other members of the family they can go bother while you're working, you know, making money, but still.
Here nor there. And then we get to Help Wanted 2, which had 2 of its 3, like, title screen animatronics be Sister Location themed. Have Circus Baby essentially be the final boss as the last available challenge to you.
Oh
have
god,
an entire
yeah.
Sister Location dedicated section, and in the lobby you can unlock, lo and behold, Lemonade and Fruit Punch Clown. Not to mention things like Carney and Carnival Nurse from the Helpy sections, which would fit right into this circus aesthetic. Helpy as a character even, which granted didn't appear in Sister Location, is designed like a fun time and has shown up in every game since FNAF 6.
Yeah, he's basically just a small, cuter version of Funtime Freddy, except he has both hands.
Not only has he shown up in every game, but if FNAF is to be believed, could be the key to unlocking the timeline in modern FNAF games. Not to mention
I remember that video.
Which not only had circus animal-themed costumes for the Mimic to wear in that basement, but one of the endings, Brazil, had you looking over a cliffside with balloons coming up, almost as if there was a carnival just past the way. And not only that, there was that scrapped map in Ruin that said maybe tease Carnival, a code word for an upcoming game. I don't know about you, but Help Wanted 2 did not seem like a carnival to me, so maybe that was referring to what comes after it. Sure, Fall Fest is all over Help Wanted and Help Wanted 2, but Sister Location is all over both those games, Security Breach, Ruin, the movies, and even the merch lines coming out. So what does this mean? The next game that Steel Wool makes for Five Nights at Freddy's, I think, is still most likely to be a game about Fall Fest, but it might feature animatronics that we thought were from Circus Baby's Pizza World. The 1970 Fall Fest poster really paints the picture of a circus with that big tent. And to be clear, going into this rant, circuses and carnivals are very different things. But as far as I can tell in Five Nights at Freddy's, those words are used interchangeably. So forgive me if I use them interchangeably in this rant. But that big top tent on the Fall Fest poster is a place where animatronics like Carney and Circus Baby would fit right in, seeing that they're all circus themed. Even in the Balloon World arcade machine, we see
a big circus tent,
with balloons flying in the air. The same balloons that we we might be seeing in the Brazil ending of Ruin. I have a feeling that Circus Baby's Pizza World was opened using the fan-favorite characters from Fall Fest, meaning Circus Baby, Ballora, Balloon Boy, Funtime Foxy, and Freddy even. Those characters might have originated in Fall Fest with Carney and Carnival Nurse. And since Fall Fest goes back so long, maybe originally these characters weren't even animatronics, but instead felt suits like we see in the basement of Ruin. Not only would this give us an explanation of going from Fall Fest felt suits to Fall Fest animatronics to sister location, but it would place characters like Circus Baby, Carney, and Balloon Boy in the very beginning of this timeline. There is really two problems I see with this theory. One, a lot of the evidence I use to get here is admittedly circumstantial.
Very much so, yes.
This is a very strong theory, as compelling as it might feel. But two, if this really does predate so much in this franchise, Circus Baby's Pizza World would have opened fairly early in the timeline. Maybe not before Fredbear's, but probably simultaneously with Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, the first one. And if that's true, then the Funtime animatronics would have been built really early in the franchise.
Which, again, it kind of goes into this whole thing where, like, the sister location animatronics seems so modern in comparison to everything else. What happened?
Possibly before any of the deaths we know about, which then presents the age-old question. Why the hell would William build, essentially, kidnapping robots? Because the Funtimes ostensibly are perfectly built to kidnap children. So why would he build those without anything like death-wise happening in the franchise so far? But who knows? If this new game is going to take place in Fall Fest with these characters, maybe we'll get the reason then. So what do you think? Have I truly lost my mind? I think it's interesting that Balloon Boy could pretty strongly be argued to be one of the first characters in this entire franchise, but even stronger be argued to be part of Circus Baby's crew. I can't believe I never put that together until somebody asked me to look into it. Not to mention that Sun and Moon have always felt so out of place, and now they've been linked with that carousel, the same one that is probably from Fall Fest.
Yeah,
so maybe Sun and Moon are all the way back then like everyone else. Speaking of carousel, how funny, and this is definitely not planned, but it's a funny coincidence, how funny is it that the first time we've ever seen Balloon Boy in this franchise, he's in a room with a carousel? I don't know, food for thought.
Yeah,
like I said, this theory is pretty loosey-goosey and circumstantial, but it's definitely an interesting thought experiment. Am I way off base? Let me know in the comments. In the meantime, if this was too deep...
Okay. I mean, it is a very... so it definitely is a very interesting theory. I mean, like, it's been pointed out by MatPat that Sun and Moon seems to be much older. Like, they share many design traits with that of the Mimic that you find in the basement of Ruin. And, I mean, this could also go to explain partially the whole thing that a lot of people have trouble with, or a problem with, I should say, where, like, we keep having to seemingly push the Funtime animatronics and Baby and all that stuff further and further back into the past, yet their creation becomes like so much like harder to believe just because they seem like so technologically advanced. Though that being said, it could also be that, you know, this is Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, presumably it could also be Funtime Baby and Funtime Ballora. What if, and stick with me here, we get like older versions of the characters? Because I remember John FNAF, one of his older videos, he was talking about how like Baby might have been a spring lock suit where like her inner endoskeleton became the Mimic, but like the soul that possessed her was possessing the suit itself, and you know, that sort of weird sort of thing going on there. But I almost wonder, like, instead of, like, are we going to get possibly, like, earlier versions? Like, we'll see, like, a 70s version of Baby and Ballora, and, like, a different version of Freddy and Foxy. And possibly Chica as well, given that there's a Funtime Chica as well. Definitely going to be exciting. I mean, granted, we have no idea whether Help Wanted 2 is going to be getting its own DLC. If it is, of course, that's going to throw a couple of spanners in the works, like a new release always does. But yeah, the possibility of like Balloon Boy of all things being as old or older than, like, say, the puppet. Oh, that's weird. That's weird, but I definitely want to see if it comes true or not. But yeah, of course, as always, I take requests, either like put them in the comments or link the videos in my Discord server. As always, links to the originals are in the description, and corner video will lead to my Let's Play of the day. So, yeah, with all that out of the way, I hope you guys liked. If you did, leave a like, subscribe if you have not, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.